Whatever you're going through, whatever problem, relationship, work, school, you can always find the solution in God's Word.
One thing in writing a book is that never have that, like, I have to have a deadline. You have to be flexible with it.
When you're really looking forward to something, such as a book being published, it can feel like a longer process than it is. But just learning the patience and with hard work and trusting in the Lord that you can do great things.
So many times he's like, well, where are you at? What chapter are you on? And I'm like, I'm working on the outline, dude.
You need to just do what God has given you and called you to do.
She's like, all right, I'll rock, paper, scissors for it. I already know I'm going to lose because she has some crazy psychology thing she does on me.
Just go for it, because the worst that can happen is you find out it's not for you, whether it's music, whether it's a book, being an author. The best thing to do is just try and see.
He gives us each what we need, and I think that that's huge, especially for listeners that maybe are early in their walk, for them to see that, okay, just because I didn't have a big moment doesn't mean God isn't giving me moments.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Crazy Unbelievable Faith. I am your co-host, Bryant Owen, alongside my wife, Kersha.
Hi.
And we have some amazing guests on our podcast today, the Bryant family. I want to welcome you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
We are super excited, and the topic, around cheating, is a big topic, and it's a deep topic. So we're kind of excited to unpack that a little bit today, kind of dive a little bit deeper. You guys have some really cool things you've done around a book that you've written and that is out. So we want to kind of unpack a little bit of that as well. Anything on your side?
Yeah, no, I'm just really excited to hear what prompted you guys to write the book, Trusting Timothy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. So yes, we have been talking as a family about writing a story for a long time, probably maybe 2 to 3 years. And finally we said, it's time to make it happen. It was initially inspired by my paternal relationship, with my paternal grandmother, Elnitha Bryant. I remember I give her a lot of credit for me becoming a Christian. I remember spending summers with her, going to her church, being part of the children's choir, and I still remember some of those songs that I learned as a child today. And so that relationship with my grandmother, a big part of our book is the relationship with Timothy and his grandmother. It was kind of the initial idea, but everything we do as a family, we like to do together, and so we decided to come together and bring the book to life.
That's awesome. And I want to mention they are also a homeschool family. Mm-hmm. And
yes. So
there's a lot of like-mindedness. There's a lot of, just the Christian core beliefs that we have.
Yeah. Well, the small thread of the network.
Yeah.
I know, Bobby, as we talked to last week but just the connection of Chris Decker, who has helped us on the back end of this from Creator Spark, and we're very blessed to work with him. Chris was like, man, you've got to meet this couple. And I know you guys have already done a podcast with them around homeschool, but just, it's that small thread. And I think the small thread is in everyone's life.
Yes.
It's, who we always just try to strive to live our life. Who is it that we know that you should know? And who is it you know that we should know? And capturing a moment like this to be able to just, dive into this a little bit is exciting for us. So
yeah.
What, around the book, as you were kind of sharing about how it birthed, what were some of those things, and I'm going to kind of turn this to the kids, what were some things that you guys learned in writing this book?
For this process, I learned how long it can take for this book process, for one. When you're really looking forward to something, such as a book being published, it can feel like a longer process than it is. But just learning the patience and with hard work and trusting in the Lord that you can do great things. So we believe that publishing this book was definitely a great thing. So just learning the ins and outs with the different input for the different sentences, the illustrations, and seeing everything come together. So really just not from the outside perspective, but actually getting to experience it is what I learned. I learned how impactful it is after having written the book for other people to learn from our message. So really just learning what it's really about. I think after the first time was really exciting. So just really cool to say we're authors is really cool. So that's really what I learned from this.
You were in awesome company. I am not an author. Like, spelling and me are two different things. That's why I do podcasts, because I can vocalize things. But Kersha is a published author, so you're in good company with her and is working on her book, obviously, Crazy Unbelievable Fate. So that's again, it's neat to see the ripple effect of what you can put out there for
Okay,
others.
let's clarify what my published is. In fourth grade, I wrote a poem, and it was published in the Nebraska fourth grade poetry book.
Okay.
I'm sure it was great, though. I'm sure it was great.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sure, a lot of people are still going back and reading that, I'm sure. Yeah. That's,
Yeah, okay.
So what were some other things from the boys there? What did you guys take away from it?
Well, I mean, there is the expression that sometimes there could be too many chefs in one kitchen, but it was sometimes difficult having to make decisions as a collective and a group, because before that we were kind of all used to just doing our own thing, and when we were working on stuff, we just had the idea, we just follow through with what we want to do. But when you have 3 other people you're working with, then it isn't as easy. When you have an idea, then you have to make sure everybody agrees, and then it's like, if not everyone agreeing, then you have to do a vote. And sometimes it was split between 2 and 2 with an idea or a thought, and then we had to do rock, paper, scissors, or we just had to talk it out, and then it was still 3 or 1. So it was a.
I figured Mom would be the tiebreaker.
When it was, a lot of times when it was split between us, we did ask her input, and that a lot of times we split the decision. But
I like the rock, paper, scissors. That's all.
Classic.
Our kids do that all the time. It's hilarious. And then they'll come in evening time. Mom and I are relaxing, reading, doing whatever, okay, unwinding.
Yeah.
And the kids will come up and they need something, and she will look at me and say, will you go do that? I say, no, I don't really want, why don't you go? She's like, all right, I'll rock, paper, scissors for it. I already know I'm going to lose, because she has some crazy psychology thing she does on me. And it's like, every time. I'm like, oh, you know what? It's not even worth playing the game. I'm just going to go do it.
Actually, he does the same sequence every time.
See?
He starts with a rock, and then he goes to paper, and then he goes to scissors. So I know he's going to start with a rock, so I'm just going to go with paper.
Now my next time, I'm going to try to video it so I can send it to you guys.
There you go. You'll be ready. You'll be ready.
We're changing this thing.
It's always 1, 2, 3, shoot, and then it's a rock. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll do paper. Covered you up.
I just love how you share, like, hey, like, gotta take it to a vote. Okay, well, now we're just gonna rock, paper, scissors. That's good. That's awesome.
Okay, so do you guys do best out of 3?
We do just one time. So if you lose the first time, then that's just it.
That's pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
It
You guys
is,
are cutthroat, man.
Yeah,
it's kind of more fun that way, though. When you have one opportunity. So
You get it right?
yeah, but all in all, it was definitely just a very enjoyable experience. So even with that, having to do tiebreakers, we all enjoyed it. It was all we had fun during the process as a family. Getting to write a book, it was definitely a blessing to do it together. So all in all, it was a great experience.
That's so cool. And I think there's a lot of pieces people don't see, and this is what I really appreciate you guys coming on and being open about this and authentic. Because a lot of people they see a finished book. They see it in Barnes & Noble, see it on Amazon, see it wherever, library. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't I think of writing that? Or why I could do that. But that's awesome to see that. But there's a lot of steps that go into it. And seeing it firsthand as Kersha's going through hers, it's, there's part of me that's like, babe, are you not done yet? And it's,
I know. That's why I just, poof.
And she slaps me with some reality of like, that's
there's a process. You can't just like jump into it, even though you want to.
Definitely a process.
Yeah. And the process is there for a reason. It's to lead you to the finished outcome that you desire, right? But so many times he's like, well, where are you at? What chapter are you on? And I'm like, I'm working on the outline, dude.
Like you've been on the outline for 3 months. What's going on here?
She's making me think differently,
No. If you guys went, how long from when the idea came and you started writing, how long was it from that to publishing? Seeing the finished book.
It was
It definitely over a year. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely took some time.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's I was listening to Ryan Leake has a book that's called How to Work with Complicated People, and he has his Audible version of it also, and he reads the chapter, and then at the end he kind of does this how it got started. Well, in the first chapter he opens up and he talks about the length of time writing his book, and then what he thought it should have been done, it was like just months and months. And he said just one thing in writing a book is it never have that, like, I have to have a deadline. You set it, but you know that you have to be flexible with it.
Yes.
Because you're writing and you're illustrating. That was his big thing, was the illustration aspect of it. Took a lot longer than he had anticipated. So you guys experienced that too. So sorry.
Oh,
Next
no,
question.
No,
Sorry.
I just love how you're helping to build my case on my book in our marriage. I just love that. Thank you for that.
You guys didn't know you
You're
were,
releasing some pressure off of me.
you guys are counseling us right now. This is awesome.
Actually, you're just really giving him the behind the scenes of what that really looks like, so he doesn't have the instant button to push. Because if it was up to him, it would have been published 3 years ago.
Yeah, she should have already had like 4 books by now. This could be a sequel, trilogy, something, I don't know. So
Do you want to live the sequel and trilogy?
Nope, I don't.
Okay.
Let's keep moving. Keep moving.
Okay, so question for you guys. Outside of the book, when was there a time where God called you guys? And maybe this is a question strictly for you, Bobby, but maybe not. I think that your kids are old enough and they probably have a good amount of, I shouldn't say probably, they do have a good amount of faith that whatever God was asking you to do, that it felt crazy in the moment because it just looked uncertain.
That is a great question. I feel like God has led me for so long, and there's so many things that I can look at and say it only happened because of God, for sure. And I get him credit for everything, but I'm saying specific examples where you can just feel like, okay, it only happened because God had His hand on it. I don't know. My greatest story, I guess, would have to be where I felt like God led my wife to me. Which is why I'm staring at my 3 kids here. It was about perfect timing, and we kind of crossed paths at the right time. And I know it was only because God placed her at that place at the right time. I was a co-director for a program, and my wife decided to volunteer, and that's how we met. And it took us on this a long journey to where we're here today. So I would guess I would say the biggest thing that comes to mind first would be God leading me to my wife.
Awesome. Guy, the rest of you, do you have any crazy God stories that come to mind of what's led you to something?
I don't. I would say I don't have a one as cool and impressive as that one, but cause I don't think anyone can curious how that, because that is really awesome. But I definitely see God in it, like just in everyday life. I'm not sure if there's really a specific example I could give, but I think just in everything when something good happens, anything good, just knowing that it's because of God, and that's just how I view life. So I'm not sure I can give a specific example, but He definitely helps in everyday life.
Yeah, well, and I think that's a really good point too, is sometimes we see God in a moment and it feels big and it just feels like a miracle that just took place when we're reflective on it. But there are a lot of times in every Christian's life and walk with God where it's all these little moments that if you don't reflect and give that back to God, you might miss the big moment.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's just as important as the big moments. But it doesn't discount the fact that maybe a big moment didn't happen either in that. I think God knows how to talk to all of us, and he talks to all of us differently, and he gives us each what we need. And so I think that that's huge, especially for listeners that maybe are early in their walk, for them to see that, okay, just because I didn't have a big moment doesn't mean God isn't giving me moments. Yeah. He's giving me little ones, and that's okay too.
Well, and I think sometimes reflecting on them is the biggest benefit for people. Is just kind of, you always hear the saying, you get up in the morning and the first thing should be that you're praying and thanking God for the day. But when you lay your head down on the pillow at night, you're thanking God for what he did for you that day. He protected you and took care of you. I think it's that reflection at night. I'm guilty of this, laying my head down and it's like, man, I'm out like a light bulb. And it's not so much, I might have started praying, but I fell asleep. But it's that reflection piece where we're thinking back on the day. And
can we have a moment of honesty?
Oh no.
Brian's praying out loud, and then he goes quiet. And if I question, like, hey, are you still praying? I'm listening.
I'm listening for God. She's like, wow, you're breathing awfully heavy for listening to God. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of asleep. It's fine. I'm awake now, so let's go. No, but I think it's the reflection on those little pieces throughout the day that sometimes, again, to your point, they might have felt big, but when we see it at the end of the day, it's like, wow, that he saved me from this, or gosh, I was running late and I'm so and then it's like, wow, but there was an accident that happened right in front of me, driving across town. Just there's countless things.
It's big, yes. I think it helps grow our faith. It's big. Yes.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And in those moments, you're like, thank you, God, for making me late instead of on time.
Yes.
Because I could have been in
Exactly.
the accident.
Yes.
Right.
But I wanted to share, Bobby, since you shared like how you met your wife, I know when I first met Brian, I wasn't like, oh, thank God for bringing this guy into my life in the moment, right? Like, I didn't know him. We met at a Garth Brooks concert, guys.
She did. She just won't admit it. It's
So
fine. It's fine.
it was love at first sight from this guy.
Ah.
I had a hard heart. Okay, I needed some softening. I also was in the military, and so I just had a very just driven mindset in me too. That it took God and him kind of to comb that out of me a little bit. And then over the years, a lot of that has kind of depleted over the years. But in those moments, right beyond, it was like, oh, I met a guy, cute, he's great. But now looking back 16 years into our marriage and 18 years into our relationship, now I'm like, God, that was you.
Mm-hmm.
So as time goes on, our reflective nature can change, and our viewpoint of, okay, God, you changed my life that day. It didn't feel like it in the moment, and it didn't even in the initial, couple of weeks beyond, it really didn't feel like that either.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I really felt that until we were engaged. That, wow, this is really a guy. But that's how hard
it took that long. Wow,
heart
holy
was.
cow! Like it was an uphill battle for me apparently.
Yeah, I was a challenge.
Yeah,
And
it was a project.
I'm still a project. It's fine.
No, and I think, but there are those moments even through our relationship.
Yeah.
There were moments that we'd bump into, and when you're dating someone, when you get married to someone, you hear the saying opposites attract. Well, that can also be bad because it's like you're oil and water. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we would argue and bicker, and it was like, somebody has to take the higher ground of, okay, let's work this out. Let's talk this out. Instead of just, it's my way or the highway. And I think a lot of relationships, unfortunately, it's my way or the highway. And it's just easy to kind of, all right, we'll just go our separate ways instead of working on something. Mm-hmm. To stay together, to work on something takes time, but it's not just us. It's obviously a higher power, and that is God for sure.
Yeah.
In a relationship, being anchored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I don't know how we got on that tangent, but okay, that's where we went. So
That's where we're at.
Take us back to the book.
Bobby shared about his meeting his wife.
Yeah. You just never know where we're going to go. It's fine.
That's huge.
That's fine. That's fine. Yes.
Okay. Okay, looking back on the process of the book, what would you share with someone listening to the podcast, a lesson that you learned during that process? Is there any one specific thing that comes to mind?
And you can't use rock, paper, scissors.
Right.
You guys could rock, paper, scissors, shoot who goes first.
I guess I would say that because we're going through it, you never stop learning something new, which is good. I think we learned so much definitely from the beginning about the process, and I guess I feel like we're still learning it every day. As we talked about before, you learned to build your patience, have patience. Because, as we were saying, you want to eat, quickly, you want the easy button, you want it to happen fast. So we learn how to have more patience. But yeah, I would say really just, I guess, enjoy the process because we're constantly learning.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
That's great advice. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that.
Yeah, always learning is a motto we've definitely latched on to here and with our kids too, as a priority for sure. And that saying of, when you think you know it all, you just started learning.
Exactly.
Because you don't know it all, and
Right.
and it's just vital to walk through life curious, to walk through life open-minded, inquisitive, I guess, and asking people. And you might know the answer, you might already understand it, but just allowing someone else that space to talk about it. Because as you're being curious with those around you, I think about our community, I think about just people around us, just sometimes talking to them or asking them a question, you don't know what that does positively for their day and kind of fueling them. So anything, I know, working together was something that you guys talked about earlier, but are there any other pieces that come to mind on through writing the
Like
book?
specifically, like what would you change writing the next book?
Yeah.
Uh,
Get a fifth person to be able to break the vote totally. Is that what have another author on the team?
Well, I think me personally, just being okay with us disagreeing, because I think sometimes I was getting a little too frustrated with the disagreements. So I think instead of take it personally, just take a step back and realizing what the actual issue is, and then we can, like you mentioned, talk it out instead of just being mad and going separate ways, because really the only way to resolve it is to talk it out and work through it. So I think if we just do that, and instead of saying, oh I'm right, you're wrong, then we will get resolution. And as a Christians, we do believe it's important to pray and ask God for guidance. So I think just doing that more instead of, as the Bible says, leaning on your own understanding. We're not supposed to lean on our own understanding. We're supposed to trust God. So I think when we do that and put ourselves aside, then we actually will get farther than if we try to do it on our own strength. So, which is what I've struggled with personally a lot of times, because I think I'm right, and then I really don't want to hear other opinions. But if I just try to listen to other opinions more, I think we will get farther instead of just doing our own thing. So that's personally why I took away.
We have her on record. She admitted to it. We have her on record.
We have a daughter that's the same way. So don't feel bad.
I think too, to your point, it can be hard. And I think giving yourself grace, just even in this moment too, of you probably wouldn't be that way if it was a different team and not your brothers and your dad working in that. Because they have a different level of emotional sight in on you than a different team would. So just giving yourself grace too of it's hard to work with your family.
Right.
And a lot of people struggle with that. I know we've struggled with it, like learning to work together, and we're married, and we like openly walked into that struggle, right? And so I think that that's a great viewpoint and a good lesson.
The saying comes to mind. John Maxwell coined this phrase of, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, you have to go with a team, with a group. And you have to just learn to work together. So to your point, you've grown in those skill sets and those qualities. That next book is going to come easier because you already know some of those pieces.
And just these points that you guys are bringing up now, the phrase, what can I grow through instead of go through? And the fact that you guys are taking that time to reflect and know what changes need to be made moving forward shows that you don't want to make the same mistakes. And that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any, I guess, any advice that you would have, someone that's watching, someone that's maybe listening to this, maybe they're writing a book, or maybe they're thinking about it. Maybe it's not a book. Maybe I know you guys like music. We talked about this before. You guys are musically inclined, and you like that, writing and all of that. So maybe somebody's going down that path of the artistic and creative side. What would be some advice or just suggestions that you would have for them?
Just go for it. I think that's kind of just the best. You kind of like they say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you're always gonna be wondering what would have happened if you had done it. So just do it. Don't be afraid to try something new, a new business, a new idea, making a song, going out there, exploring new options, or a career, anything. Just go for it, because the worst that can happen is you find out it's not for you. Whether it's music, whether it's a book, being an author, the best thing to do is just try and see.
Yeah. The reason why I made that face when you said just go for it is when Brian was asking the question, just go for it went on in my head. So I was like, yeah, he said it.
That's fine. What else? What are some other advice or suggestions from you guys?
Good.
Well, just enjoy the process. A lot of times, people think they want the easier path, but a lot of times the easier path isn't the more rewarding one. When you get to see how hard you've worked on something, and looking back on this book, we have put in some work. So just seeing it come and come about is really rewarding. I don't think I would be as excited or happy if someone else had written it for us and then we just got to put our name on it. I think there is something where you get to say you did it, and of course in the Lord, but when you put in the work, I think it is more rewarding than someone just giving you a handout. So I think that is actually good when you get to use the talents God's given you to do great things. So that's why I would say that you in addition to that, you need to know what God's leading you to, because you shouldn't compare yourself to someone else, because someone's path may not be your path. So instead of comparing, this person's an author, I'm going to be author, or this person's a painter, I'm going to be painter. You need to just do what God has given you and called you to do.
Our own, and I love you bringing that up. That's a great reminder. Is that we can't compare ourselves to where someone has been, where we are right now. But so many of us, I'm guilty of this, and I can't speak for my wife, but I know I'm guilty of it, where I'd really like to have what they have, or I'd really like to be doing what they're doing. And it's just, we have to be appreciative and thankful for where we are. The blessings God's brought into our life, where we are. Sometimes it can get overlooked because we're so focused on, I want that, or I want that outcome from it. Mm-hmm. Anything for you?
Oh yeah, I do it all the time. It's fine.
Comparison.
Well, I do it, but then I'm like, okay, no, that's not what I need to do. You know, I autocorrect my thought process. But I grew up in a world in which that was just really easy to do. So it's really rewiring my brain to not look at things from that viewpoint and finding the thankfulness and the gratefulness in the moments that we do have.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get it. I think it sometimes feel natural to compare yourself to someone else. So, I think, if we're all honest, I think we can probably say that we all do it from time to time.
Right.
In my opinion.
It's being self-reflective.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the end of the day, back to my falling asleep in prayer. That's fine, but it is being self-reflective and taking that time, be it end of the day before you go to bed, brushing your teeth, whatever it might look like. Everyone's different, but having that self-reflection piece that I need to catch myself from and prevent myself from doing this time and time again. So, anything from you in closing, or as we kind of wrap up here?
No, I just am really thankful that you guys have been so gracious and open with your journey and sharing.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I admire the fact that the four of you walked through that process together and came out on the other end together. I think it takes a very special family and special talents and gifts within that family to make something so beautiful happen. And I just want you guys to know that I admire you for that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, and we will definitely link in the show notes for this the direct link to your book and content. Bobby? Are you okay with content information if people have additional questions or they would love to just visit with you guys? Are you okay with contact information maybe coming to you?
Yes, for sure. They can email us.
Yeah, our email is bryantfamily@trustingtimothy.com.
Okay. So
We also have
go ahead.
sorry. We also have an Instagram, trustingtimothy_official. And we also have a website, trustingtimothy.com, where the book can also be purchased on top of Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
All right,
We
awesome.
will make sure we link all of those into the show notes for people because there's people that's like, hey, I want to get more of this family. I want to learn more. I want to because I'm assuming there'll be more books. Not saying it, but I'm assuming. Is that?
We hope so. We're hoping this is going to be our debut book. So
Awesome. That's
yes.
awesome.
Thank
Well,
you.
Thank you.
It's amazing what you guys are doing. I'll reiterate what Kersha said. It's amazing how you guys have collectively come together. You're rowing in the same direction, but it's for the betterment. It's for the impact of the kingdom, and just being able to fulfill others. Again, there's countless people out there that need hope, that need encouragement. And I definitely appreciate you guys coming on, taking some time. Is there anything in closing that you guys would like to share with our viewers or listeners?
Just continue to read the Bible and talk to God, I guess. That's what I would say to everyone.
Well, just tying into our book, again, the reason we wrote it is to let everyone know, even though we're targeting kids, even adults, that what we're trying to teach is that whatever you're going through, whatever problem, relationship, work, school, you can always find the solution in God's Word, which is what our message is through the book.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
awesome.
What were you going to say? Sorry.
I said exactly.
Yeah. I mean, everything's rooted back to the Scripture.
Yes.
Everything goes back to it. There's answers to everything. If you want to look and find it, it's there. So, well, we thank you guys for joining us today. We thank you for your time, Bryant family. And for those that are watching and listening to this, if you're not already a part of our community, we hope that you would find something of value in this, share it with others, subscribe to our community, become part of this movement, this encouragement, this hope and encouragement that we're giving to those around us. So until next time, thank you so much for joining another episode of Crazy Unbelievable Faith. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.